true. Sorry. I just want to make sure that. One second. Someone talk. Okay, we're okay.
Yourself.
Oh, wow.
No, I muted my computer, but I just wanted to make sure that they were
Want to
working.
hear the echo? It's great.
Hello.
My favorite is the feedback.
Yes. We're gonna give it just another minute. See if Glenda. Then. Squeaks.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they all squeak around. Still more comfortable. So I'll take it. Not falling forward.
I know. They really want you out of those seats. It's so cute.
Yeah.
I loved him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the sidewalk. Yeah.
He's a good joke character.
Yep.
Nice.
He was awesome. Wasn't big.
Oops. Word. That wasn't the place, but
How old is he then?
it's gonna be 6 months.
Oh, God.
I'm sleeping. Oh, that's amazing.
This is the kid that seems like him too.
You just changed it.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to France at the end of the month, so
Oh,
a little nervous. A little nervous.
Lion doing red eye overnight and yeah, that was
Yeah, we'll be the next day. It's okay.
Paris in the countryside or?
Annecy, and on the Swiss border.
How sweet.
Yeah, so David has to go for work, so.
Oh, that's too bad.
yeah, jeez. Bummer, huh?
Yes, we'll have to
What does he do for work?
He works for MIT, so they're buying a tool that's being built there. So they're testing it out like this there, so
That's
Nick?
That's awesome.
like if I have to go. So we just extended it, yeah.
Last for work, they took me out. Spent like $3 million with somebody else's money. That's
funny.
Okay. Let's just get started. If everyone's okay with that, and
Yeah.
then let's run the shows. All right, it being 6:02 in a forum of the Conservation Commission meeting. No members present. It's gonna be a good night. I'm gonna call the November, oh my God, the September 2nd, 2025 meeting of the Conservation Commission to order. First order of business is accepting of meeting minutes of August 19th.
I didn't see any 8 minutes anywhere.
We emailed them last week. Maybe when she sent them out, I.
Well, it might be in your spam because a lot of her emails have been going to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, did have.
Yeah, I was clear about that. She said it was not on the first degree.
Website too, I only saw the agenda.
Yeah.
Oh, they're there. They're in a PDF though. Maybe were you looking for a Word doc? Okay,
you go
I
to
can
share?
share them.
Yeah.
I can share them. We have power.
I did see.
We're not staring at you.
Just above you.
This room setup is.
At least we have a screen this time though.
That's true.
Usually we're just like circling
Huddled
around our
around.
laptop. Scroll a little fast.
Leia's up there.
Motino. Missed that one in person.
No, motion, yep. I read through it too and I missed it, so.
Okay. So. Motion.
She's making up words now. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written, with the exception of Motino.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor by roll call?
Dane.
Either that,
Gentilucci, aye.
Yorkland, I.
Ganza, I. All right, next order of business. Is public hearing amendment to order of conditions, Brice Estates, Woodside Ave. We haven't received any new information. I did send out, and I will, I guess, tag this into the follow-up on the enforcement orders. I don't see anyone else here for it anyways, do over and again. I sent out that email, the latest book report came in. Becky from DEP gave me a call because ironically the same day we issued the enforcement order, they were out on site with members of the team and Christine Guess and Tom Larson, and saw, you know, the same things that we had, plus some other areas. So they were unsurprised that that enforcement order came through. We're happy to see it through and that we called out the discrepancies in the SWIP report. There are some other areas that they also wanted to be addressed that were both kind of historic and might be new. They were kind of unclear if areas had been maybe slightly cleaned up, you know, in the immediate past. And didn't get any confirmation from the contractor, he wasn't sure. They too were wondering what those need flags were, and Julian didn't seem to know what they were, so unclear what those fresh new flags were. I guess nothing of importance to us at this point. They did look at that stream impact, that Chris Lucas's report stated that they should just let it kind of stay and flush itself out, and DEP did not agree with that assessment. It is greatly impacted, and they followed all the way to Millbrook, and found, you know, the whole thing.
What is that pond? What that?
So it's, I know, it's like trying to get the orientation of Woodside. If you're going down Woodside, if you're heading down Woodside from the Charnock Hill, it's the sedimentation that's off to the left side of Woodside. And that stream that runs behind there and then kind of wraps around. That's okay. That's fine. So that's kind of where we are on that one. Hello. Is that new boy?
It is Newport.
Hi, new boy.
Hi.
So they requested a plan that outlines, I mean, pretty much what we asked for in an enforcement order. A plan that outlines all the impacts, a plan for restoration of the erosion controls, and a plan for restoration of the PWs. In resource areas that were impacted. Lee did reach out to me, said Mass DEP have the same issues. What should I do? Because they have jurisdiction, and I clarified that we also have jurisdiction and that he should comply by the enforcement order. So I sent that back to him. I sent a copy to Tanika. I don't know if she put that email in the shared drive or not. I think that was Friday. So I don't think anything has come in, at least from what I've seen today. I was hoping to at least get a memo of the area of impacts and as what we requested, but I don't see anything, so that's kind of where we're on that. Are there any, since this is also part of the public hearing, are there any questions, questioners or from the public on Brice Estates? Right, anyone in the public will be to speak up. All right, is there a motion to continue this to our next meeting then on 9/16?
So moved.
A second.
All those in favor by roll call?
And I.
Keenan, I.
Just Lucian.
York, I.
Aye. Request for certificate of compliance, 3 Brintnal Drive. This is for the original construction of the house. I think I see Amy on here if we have any questions. But me, Tim and Mary went out and did a site visit. You know, it's been there since I think 2016, so it's very stable. You know, we did notice that what is culvert that's coming from under the road where it stems from, I'm not quite sure, so that you know, had some concerns about that, but that might have been done kind of when that development in that area was, so we just kind of went over what some jurisdiction is, because they had talked to some, you know, hopes and what they wanted to do with the property, but it's all kind of wet, so. But for the order of conditions that's open, I didn't see any issues. We talked about other places to dump leaves, but
Kind of good to talk to a new homeowner.
yeah,
Sometimes people buy the house, they don't know. Well, any restrictions through that might not be in the paperwork, but I don't believe that are kind of, she had a lot of good questions.
Yeah, that goes back to the. Signs around the edge, you know, who's responsible.
Over on,
The signs.
Pleasantdale.
Yeah, you know, who's responsible, because the next homeowner 30 years from now
Right.
may not know,
yeah.
so.
Like, what are these dumb signs in my yard? None of them got yet. They, yeah, I didn't have any concerns. I don't know if anyone would like to make a motion for a complete certificate of compliance for 3 Brintnal Drive.
I'll make a motion for to approve the certificate of compliance.
All those in favor by roll call?
Can I?
Keenan and I.
Just Lucian.
York, I.
Dan, aye. That is approved. All right, old and new business, 38 and 40 Finn Park Road. I know you guys are here for Finn. Are you here for Finn as well? Okay. So we just discussed briefly at the last meeting, because they were here, of what had been done. I think they sent some photos over of some smaller trees that had been hanging over their roof. So what we were kind of just looking for was an understanding of the work that had happened. You know, if it was jurisdictional to us, and if anything further needed to come of it. I don't know if you have any information on the tree removal.
I have a lot of information actually on the tree removal. I'd like to, you know, but if they are here to, have they more pictures or something, or if they could see the pictures that they have, I'd appreciate that
Yeah.
first, so I can just see what they showed you.
Absolutely. This one. So just those 4 photos.
Then you got my roof photo?
I-
Okay.
If you just want to introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Karen Schmidt, and I'm the, one of the others at 38 Finn Park Road. And I just want to thank the committee, basically for having us. I don't know what was said in the initial letter that you guys received. I guess Tamika had, said there was an initial letter. I don't know what was said in that, so I don't know how much you're aware of the situation or know what's going on. And I apologize for not being here last time. I couldn't possibly make it. It was impossible, so I do apologize. So, do you want me to just start with what I know or what happened? Because I'm not sure if was there any information given or not?
Just that some limbs had been, or trees were overhanging the house, that were causing that moss on. And so that they removed those 4 trees.
Okay. And I apologize, I do want to kind of give you a background as to what's going on. So I've actually, that property that that we own has been in our family since it was, basically since it was built. It's the first home built in that area. So we've been there forever. So we know, my grandfather bought it and he bought the property next to it because he wanted to have privacy and nature. And that's why we're up there, because it's one of those things that everyone in that area just loves those houses, and it's part of them because of the nature and the quiet and everything. So we usually open Memorial Day, close Labor Day. We've tried to extend it on both ends. So this year could not open it. We came up on June 8th. And we were cleaning, and all of a sudden I was on my deck and I heard this noise. I'm like, God, that sounds like a chainsaw. Why is there a chainsaw? Like, what the heck is going on? And I look over, and their oldest son, Michael, was over there, and he had his chainsaw, and he's taken down swaths of stuff, and he's up. And I'm like, what is he doing? And he's down low. And I thought, so I yelled over and I said, excuse me. I said, please stop. I said, that's our property. What are you doing? And he's like, and then he yelled back, I'm just trimming. I said, no, I said, please stop. And he didn't. He stopped for a few minutes and then he started up again. So I went over there, and his mom was there, and John was there as well. And I guess Joe was not there. And I went over and
But yeah.
he was there, but he was not there at the time. Well, you came out from your truck. That's all I know, is if you weren't there when I came over. You came out from your truck. And so I said, that's our property. You can't be taking down trees. And I looked and I see all these, the dumps, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And there was no explanation given. And she said, don't worry about it. My oldest son is an arborist. He knows what he's doing. And I said, I'm thinking to myself, but if he's an arborist, he knows you can't go into someone's property and start taking down their trees. And I'm not even thinking about the Conservation Commission at this time. I was just thinking about what the heck is going on. I mean, someone cuts down your trees. And I thought, what the heck? And I said, that's all private. That's all like the nature, like that's all private. I said, you can't. And she said, don't worry about it. You still have some privacy. And I was like, okay. And I tried to be very nice, and I tried to make light conversation with them because I don't like this, and I wasn't 100%. I knew the woods were ours. I wasn't sure how far beyond the woods. So I didn't want to make an issue too much more, because I thought I don't want to go, but like I'm very careful about stuff like that. I don't like to. So anyway, and then when I did go over there, instead of cutting down low, Michael was up, he took it, he was cutting, I would say maybe about this high off the ground. So it didn't look like he was going down low. He was cutting up here. So anyway, they stopped. I went back to my house and I thought, what the heck are we going to do? Like, this is it was a wide swath. And I thought, this is ridiculous. And my husband and I left to go grab a bite or something. We came back. And at that point, I went back over. They were not there. And I went back over, and the ones that he cut that were up here, he had cut back down low. And I thought, this is ridiculous. Like, this is just, anyway. So we didn't know what to do. Went home. Back down to where we live, and then
Where is that? Where do you live?
Pennsylvania.
Oh,
So we came back on July 1st, and meanwhile, and this is when I say he took pictures, I should probably show you. If you wanted pictures, you have pictures. There are June 8th. These are all the ones they took down, and these are all the ones they took down. Now, some of these are an inch, and I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, but most of these, and I can tell you now, these are it goes up. So basically, I started, there were more that were smaller than this. And the reason I'm saying is because between an inch and a half, they took down 8. Between an inch and a half and 2, they took down 6. Between 2 and 2.5 inches, it was 6 more trees. 2.5 to 3 inches, 4 more trees. 3 to 3.5 inches, 1, and 4 inches or more were 4 trees. Okay, not just 4 trees that they're telling you. That was what we were greeted with. Okay, and this is all within the zone. But then I got very upset because I realized overnight the reason these were taken, they were actually taken June 9th, but that was done June 8th, was because in my back of my mind I said, oh my God, this is Conservation Commission land. I don't want to be. I don't want this to be like something that someone would come after me for, because I didn't take them down. It's on my property. So that concerned me. So I got those pictures down. And the reason I said is the thing, because even a half an inch, I went out and measured today, when you have where those are cut down, if you measure a half an inch, those trees that are only half an inch are 6 feet tall now. And the ones that are 1 inch around are 9 feet tall, and that doesn't mean, I mean, that's, and I'm not saying they're full of leaves, because they're not, you know, it's not like they're dense leaves, but they're still leaves causing like that, that's all part of nature and all that. And if you took a 4-inch one, the 4-inch ones go as high as the roof or over the roof. Okay, so this is why this was just beyond concerning to me. Because I knew that it wasn't just, even though it looks like, oh, it's only an inch, it's still big trees. They're not like, okay, an inch, so they're that small. They're not. So that's what I did measure. So then I came back on July 1st, this time with my mom in the car, who's also been there, coming there since she was an infant. And she looked, and I looked at my husband and I said, oh my God, they took down more trees. I can't believe it. And he insisted they did not. These were taken down July 1st. And the dimensions of those, and he said he refused to believe he did, but I can actually show you proof that he did. And the dimensions of these are there were 3 of them between 1 to 2 inches, 2 between 2 to 3 inches, 1 between 3 and 4 inches, 2 between 4 to 5 inches, 1 between 6 to 7 inches, and 2 one was 8 to 8.5 inches, and one was 13 inches across. So that's the extent of the damage. That is not just for trees. As far as looking at what's gone with the landscape, I have some before and after pictures. I went through my pictures over the past couple of years, and I have pictures here to show the death. This was, and you can pass these around. November 8th, this is the fall picture, so that the areas next to the house, upside down, the areas next to the house here, but that means most of the leaves have already fallen, and so you can see the difference if you want to just look at that one. These are actually pictures of June 8th, which was the first time I have areas you can see where these, and this is today. So these were taken between June 8th and July 1st. So these are the trees that were taken down, even though we said he didn't take any down. So these are with little arrows you can see marked. I marked some of those as best I could. There's an area here where my son, he was working, this was the before pictures taken July 26th of 2017. I'm looking at the upper area here, and you can see right through the trees there. And this is actually the before. This was people down below. This is the area I was looking at here, and you can see how it's just right open. These areas here, same thing. These really show, especially before. This is before in July of August of last 2020. A before and after picture. I was looking at the lattice area here, and I zoomed in on both pictures so you can actually see how there's no more trees there. This is a before and after taken last year. There was a branch that fell that we had to get rid of. It was on the ground. And this was taken from up high in the parking lot, looking down, and I zoomed in on this area of the tree here because you can see those were cut down there. This is from our deck. You can actually see before June 8th. This is before June 8th. We're taking down. And then 2021, and these are the after pictures that are currently standing there. And then these pictures were taken. Oh, I wanted to make this written on the back of one of these. Anyway, and then these were taken basically July 1st, when we came back. My husband had a tape measure here to show you that it's literally about that the swamp was, you can see that where the old, the edge of the part was there with the woods. But here you can see where the sawdust, where he actually took them down because he said he didn't. And then here was July 1st. These were when they took them down. So today, what happened was last time I noticed, he said to you guys, please, I can show you my property. And I was like, how on earth could he be showing you the property when he knows all these trees were taken down? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And I figured out why when I went back, because if you look here, my husband and my son are pulling the leaves away from the stumps because the stumps that are bigger actually have leaves now growing about this high from them. So you can't even see them. So they're hidden. And I finally figured that out because here's the picture. And these were, this is, you can even see here, like there's a leaf here, we pulled it away, took a picture of the same picture here, and you can see with the leaf in front of it, you can barely see the stumps. That's kind of what I wanted to show you there. And one of the interesting things is that I did some research on this is because when you have stumps that are a certain size, they will start to grow more sprouts from them. But when you have stumps that are still smaller, like the inch, 2 inches, whatever, you cut them, they will not regrow. So you can't even say that those will regrow because they will not regrow because they're too small to survive it. So all these little trees that were all that vegetation that was cut from the tops right down to the water are completely gone. So they will not regrow those small ones. So it's all the big ones that are starting to get little things to them. So so I know that you'd asked for pictures, so pictures because I didn't know what else to do. Yeah, so that you understand what I'm doing, what they're doing there. Yeah. So so the new, so and what I'd like to do is, yes, I would like to invite you, unfortunately, and I hear that often. I will be here all day tomorrow till about 5, 6 o'clock. I can stay till 6 if need be. And I will also be back in a couple weeks. I'm having a meeting in 2 weeks and I'll be back then and I can even be available on the weekend. I'll probably come back on Saturday or so. I could be available Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. If you'd like to come and see what actually happened and not just for a little snippet, you can actually see them all. So I kind of wanted to give you an idea that that was that. So I didn't want to be responsible for all that, which is why I specifically took the pictures. Oh, and we did on July 1st too, and I did let them know. I did call a police officer on July 1st as well, only because I wanted to cover myself. I didn't press any charges or anything like that. That wasn't my intent. My intent was to cover myself because I didn't want anyone coming back and saying, you took down all these trees. I didn't take any of them down. I also do have the pictures of the roof and stuff, which obviously is the one picture, and I can show the before and after that if you want. I didn't put it on, I didn't think it was necessary, but the thing is with the cottage there, if you do come to the Finn Park Road, I don't know how familiar you are with that area, a lot of the roofs do get moss. They're prone to getting moss because there's a lot of trees in that area. People don't cut them down. They're not supposed to. So you have to treat the roof every year, 2 years, whatever, just to get rid of the moss. So if you haven't treated it in 9 years, you are going to have a lot of moss, whether or not you have trees there. And the other thing is it's also the north face of the roof, which is the one that collects the moss. I mean, there could have been some branches hanging, but you don't take down entire trees. You're allowed to cut to the property line. You're not allowed to take down someone's trees because you might have a little bit of overgrowth. So that's the other thing that's very concerning. So I know you're not here as judge and jury. I know you're not, a court or whatever, but I need to show you what this vegetation, when I say about 2.5 feet into the, not the property line. The property line is actually before the wooded area. It's actually from the wooded area into so you're talking probably, what is it, about 5, 4,
So at least 7 to 10 feet into the.
yeah. So technically it's way beyond the property line. So that's what our concern was. And I didn't want to be responsible.
Do you want to respond or?
When it came to the cutting, it was about 3 hours at the most one day. So I don't know where she's coming across there. And so this day and that day and came back and different.
We only did it
times
on
of the
one
month.
day.
It was one day, and it was about 3 hours at the most.
There are pictures there
I
taken.
don't care about the pictures.
Let her finish. Please.
No, stop.
Sorry.
You wanna take this outside, bud?
No, that's not the intent at all.
That's
We're
not-
here to discuss
We're
this.
just,
Oh, bullshit.
please.
Don't even know where the property line is.
And that's why we've
We have
contacted,
researched
we have researched that.
Yes.
And
If you look,
where's the property line?
can I, hold on 1 second, please. The property line is.
Don't act like you're all goodness and happy, okay? Like there's
We're
something
gonna be a
special.
second, excuse me.
Hold on.
I'm trying to talk. I would like your.
Go ahead.
The
Nope.
property line, if you look at, here's the interesting thing, if you look at the township map, and I know they tell you, because I did go to the assessor's office, if you look at the township map, the line that they show it goes right literally next to their cottage. Now, if you look at the other properties, let me finish. If you look at the other properties, we know that the property line there is exact, because some of these cottages were, that's how they were built. They were built right on the, you guys probably know that because you probably dealt with things that right on the property line. Now, I do have reason to believe that maybe it doesn't quite go to their cottage, but I know we own beyond the wooded area onto their property. I just don't know where it is. So we have contacted someone. We're probably gonna have someone have to come out and assess that, but we do know that this area is all ours, and I don't want, as I said, there's all that, now all that foliage is gone. The vegetation is just gone in that entire area. It's just wiped out. I know someone made a comment too last time, something about, and I wanna, it was on the tape, it was hard to hear the tape. I don't know if you listened to that comment, but someone made something about if it's a hazard to home and property. There was no hazard to home and property.
That's your opinion.
I will also tell you that back in 2019, there was a tree that was ready to fall onto their house from our property. And it was an emergency situation, and we paid out of our own pocket, which we really didn't have to do. We did pay from our own pocket, almost $1,000 to have the tree removed. And I do have the letter from a Stephanie Brand, I think it might be your niece, who gave us permission to go on the property so that we could take that tree down because we didn't want it to hit their cottage. And so we did do that as an emergency because it was, as I said, it was a big tree. I didn't want it to fall and hurt there. So we're maintaining that. We know that that's part of our property, and we did do that.
But
So, wait a minute. She approached me with a cell phone, with a satellite photograph showing the property. And she's telling me that her property line is in the middle of my stairs.
so I just want to put a pause on this really quickly because we cannot make any determinations or aspects regarding the property line.
Right.
Our focus is really just vegetation removal in general.
Right.
So I think I want to get the commission's quick thoughts on what they see with the vegetation removal. If we want to go out and maybe take a look at it. I think irrespective of the property boundary. If I do recommend you get the property surveyed, so you know exactly where your property line is. Our, I think, mission moving forward is to, educate and inform the public of the rules and regulations. If there's actions that are necessary for remediation, that we find is necessary, in the future, then that might be more apt at the next meeting after we put eyes on it. So I don't know what others think, but maybe taking a site visit would probably be a
Yeah,
good.
I think it's a really good idea.
Okay.
Can I add a comment?
Yes.
So it was stated that we cut all the way down to the water, which is untrue. Second, if you're taking down a hazardous tree, you have to have room around you to take down the tree. So the little saplings are in the way of taking down that tree. And also stated, she said about half the trees are some amount in diameter, and she said goes over the roof. So they're hazardous trees, they go over my roof.
Just
And-
because they go over the roof, I would push back on that a little bit. Doesn't mean they're hazardous.
So it created a shade on the moss, and we talked about that the last meeting, and you said that damaging your roof is rightful cause of a hazardous tree
But you-
because it's
But you do still have to come to us to talk. So I understand your point. I understand their point. So let's just kind of, we've been provided evidence now that there's more vegetation that was removed than what was previously stated. So, our decision may not change. That's,
Okay.
I'll put that out there. It may not change based on what we see. Or, we can have that, I think, better discussion if we put eyes on it, because it looks, we've at least been told now that there's more than what we knew about. So,
also in our discussions, she said the buffer zone was 250 feet, which is not. After we had our conversation, it's 100 feet.
it is 100 feet. I know some of DCR's regulation might be 200, so maybe, I don't know if that comes into play, but ours is just 100.
I also offered to replant all the trees.
But she said she had to talk to her husband.
They offered to replant the trees. When they said that, I told them that it probably had to go through you guys because it has to be a certain amount of tree, what type of tree it has to be. what I was concerned about the size, and I do, and if they're willing to replant them, obviously, that needs to be done because it has wiped out that entire swath of vegetation there. So,
Yeah,
I
I would recommend you guys talk to each other. If there's something that you can come to agreement on in terms of replanting, I think we would be more than happy to listen to that. And that might put this to bed pretty quickly. But I think in the meantime, yeah, we'll come out, we'll take a look. But that, if we do decide to take action, probably would be what we would request would be some replantings of something. Doesn't necessarily have to be directly in kind, but some sort of native species. You know, if you're concerned more about higher trees, you could propose some lower shrubs or something like that. If the commission might be amenable to that. You know, something that's kind of good for our natural habitats and wildlife that's out there. So if that's something that you're both open to, definitely, you know, maybe take that conversation offline. And I think you both have Tanika's information, our admin. Feel free to send her some sort of email, memorandum, or letter, or call her either way, if you have an update before our next meeting. But we also, if you would like to be present for the site visit, I think we'd be happy to set that up. Even if it's not before our next meeting, I don't think it's the end of the world. So don't feel like you need to move your schedules around just for us. What days did you say you were gonna be?
I'll be here tomorrow. And if not, the weekend of I want to say it's the 13th, I will be here, Sunday, I'll be here Monday and Tuesday. I believe. The weekend, the 13th, so I would be here that 14th, 15th, 16th, because your next meeting is on the 16th, correct?
Correct.
Yes. So Tamika had told me, so I will be here for that as well.
I'll likely be out of town that day.
And I'm sorry if I can't, I'm trying to think if I. Possibility
Did
it's
you guys
Saturday.
want to be present as well while we're in that?
Yeah, we do want to be present, but it might be a little tough for us on our end because my mom is going for cancer surgery on Thursday and doing chemo. So like, if we could just it would be really appreciative on our side if we just talk and then
Yeah.
we'll replant the trees. We'll replant the trees. Like it's not a big deal to us. She called me on the phone. I told her 5 to 10 times that we will replant the trees, whatever to make it right, whatever will make you happy. I said, I'll even put a fence the whole way so you don't even have to look at us anymore. So.
Why don't you guys talk offline? Reach out to Tanika.
Work on getting it surveyed.
Yeah,
And then once we get the property line, we'll trim up to the property line. It's not a problem. We misinterpreted the property line because if you measured down, we measured with her down at the water line and you look up, yeah, it kind of looks like it's ambiguity of the trees. But if you measure by the house, then it's like, okay, they're your trees. But if you measure by the waterfront and look up, it's like kind of our trees. And I was like, if you want to spend the money for a land surveyor, that's your right. I'll replant the trees. I said, I'll replant as many as you want, wherever you want. Doesn't matter to me. And I'm sure conservation won't have a problem of us planting trees.
Well,
Right,
and to
and
your point, I think, I agree with you. I think the surveying will help both of us.
Yeah.
Because if you go to the public records for both state of Massachusetts and Rutland local, it literally runs the property line against your house, which I don't know if I buy that.
Because I showed it.
Because of the.
No, hold on.
There would be no logic in building the
Yeah.
place back
So
whenever it was built.
So when we talked to Karen on the property, we got a copy of the property lines from the town. And we measured it, and yes, again, if you measure by our house, right by the foot of the stairs, it's like a 3-4 foot, and like we messed up right there. If you go down by the water line, which we did not cut anything by the water line, if you measure the frontage from the post all the way over and look up, it doesn't make sense to where the line would be. And we explained this, I went over it with her, I was, like, I'm a counselor, like, I don't yell at people, I don't try to do it. Yeah,
But you're right, there is ambiguity.
Right,
I mean,
and
the
I
way
said
they-
that.
the way they staked those properties out 100 years ago was loose, loose to put it mildly.
But, right, and I get that, and that wasn't the thing is, you keep saying you went to the town hall they don't give property maps at the town hall, the assessor's office does not give maps out, so I don't know where you got the map, that's I don't know where you.
so
I don't wanna,
I
they
don't
do,
really want to get into the property boundary.
Right.
Right.
Tonight, I'm sorry.
right,
Like,
no, and I
it's just-
totally agree with that.
So I would say take this offline. It sounds like they're being pretty amenable to replanting. So keep us updated. I think we'll leave it maybe. Do we still want to do a site visit or maybe
I think so.
do a site visit?
Or do we want to wait until after the survey?
Well, that's what I'm like, maybe to come up with what they want
It
to
would be
do.
helpful
Yeah.
in context to know exactly where the line sits, yeah.
Well, the easiest thing to do is put a tree, but next to every stump.
we're by.
Dig a hole, put a tree. Plant a tree by every stump. We're just replacing what was taken.
And I said to them, I said, mark it, you can do like biodegradable paint, mark it where you want, wherever you want. I said that to Karen multiple times, just, I'll plant whatever tree you want, wherever you want,
Just
how
tell
many
us
you
what
want,
type.
just tell us where you want.
But that's when I said that we'd have to get a list to check out with what we work with the Conservation Commission.
I understand that, but
And you did say that, and I
Yeah.
said that, yes, you did say that you would replace the trees, but this is something that has come up, so that needed to be brought up in front of them. I have no control over that.
Can you tell us right now what kind of tree we can plant?
Either sugar maple or Norway native.
Sorry,
They're either sugar maples or Norway maples.
Norways are
Those are the accepted.
No, Norway maples are invasive,
Yeah.
So you
non-native.
don't want those.
so sugar maples
Okay.
are good. Norway maples,
No
not,
bueno.
no bueno. So
Yeah, I've got those houses, those trees on
Yeah.
my property in Paxton.
if they were gonna,
Disaster.
Of course it is.
so these were Norway maples. So if they're gonna replant something, they wanna replant red maple, sugar maple, something that's native to the area.
And it would have to be done in the spring, because you don't want to be planting trees right now. I think
and we also
It
talked, we
depends.
talked about
I
that
think
too.
we talked- we did talk
Depends
about
on the
that.
kind, Too. That actually depends upon the kind of tree,
okay.
because
A lot of trees, they prefer fall time.
Yeah, because of the cool temperatures.
Yeah.
And they just give them time to make roots. It's not about what's coming up.
Yes.
So how about, that would be actually a good point about marking the areas that you would want replanted. Come to a general consensus on numbers. I think we're more than happy to give you a list of suggested replacements that are native based on what was taken. I can send Tamika just a list that she can send out to you or some helpful links. And then you can work off that. If maybe once it's marked, we go out. And then that way we can come to a quick agreement of the plan forward.
The sooner we can do it, the better, because anytime we take, doing this takes away from supporting my mom with the cancer. So
Absolutely understand.
I understand that we need to resolve this and this is important, but
So you said you're around next Sunday or Monday, the 14th, 15th?
Right, that's Monday, Tuesday.
So do we want to think of something on you're gone on the 15th?
Most likely.
Are you around, Jared, Tim? George? I have my buddy with me, but
No. So the,
15th, Monday?
oh, yes, I could probably do that, yeah.
Around weeknights are always
Yeah.
iffy for me, but I could potentially go.
Do you want to do 15?
Can I ask you a quick question? With the Conservation Commission, what is a acceptable, like, I honestly would rather not do a fence. To me, I don't want to look at a fence. I'm sure they don't want to look at a fence. That's not, to me, I don't like to do that type of stuff. other than, what would be something that would be non-invasive, just so that we'd have some idea as far as what, you know, would be acceptable to a conservation commission that would be a fit, like, I mean, can you
Like
put
privacy screening?
like some type of a thing that wouldn't, but you don't want to, I mean, I just don't want to see metal, or I don't want to see, I mean, I know they have wood, but it's just, the cottage is not, to me, is not about fences. And
Mhm.
I mean, people, we go back and forth with properties, people on the other side all the time, like we just, you know, no, it's all one big community type of thing. So what type of thing would you recommend?
Proper species trees would probably
Right.
create a.
Probably shrubs, native
Shrubs
shrubs.
do the proper species.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
probably don't want to put it right on the property line, so I'm trying to think, is just try to do some type of, okay.
Yeah, I can, I'll,
There's
Like,
like,
Or,
Like
I mean, are
cedars.
you allowed to use rocks of some type? Are you allowed to do something that would be not as, you know, because I don't want to like pause it. That's not my, you know, my food. Um, and I'm just trying to think of something that you could do that would be, you know, just to give some idea rather
Yeah.
than having a, you know, an issue again in the, you know, future.
no, I think they're like rocks would be fine, you know, if you're gonna be digging, you know, come talk to us first.
Yeah, no, I'm not thinking
You know,
anything
even
like
if
that.
you're like kind of laying a stone wall type thing that requires.
Yeah, I don't want to do so, because I don't want to, I know the water flows there are really funny. We already have problems with another neighbor that did some, you know, construction, the water flow is screwed up, and so I don't want to screw up their water flow. I don't want to screw up, you know, like anything like that. That's not, so I just trying to think of what, so something just every few feet, just to kind of give an idea or something. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think some good boxy shrubs would probably be a nice
Or something.
demarcation, so,
Okay, just some idea.
yeah.
Okay.
you could do a sweet pepper bush or something.
Or, you know, wild, blueberries or
Yeah,
something like
nice
that.
time bush every X amount of feet.
Which goes out.
We'll
Then you got Rutland here.
I don't want to put anything up obnoxious. Yeah,
Well, I'm just saying.
to your point.
People have bushes up. They keep going like this, and then we're back to square one again. I mean, if you want to, I don't care. Whatever you want.
We'll figure something out.
All right.
We'll figure something out. We don't need more maintenance either, believe me. We're like going under for the third time on maintenance. I don't know how your place is, but ours is.
We're there for 3 months.
I was there
Yeah.
all summer working on that place.
Sweet pepper bush, and what were the other?
Like a high bush blueberry or huckleberry. You can train them to grow up.
When can you plant that? You have to wait till the spring?
No, I'm not sure. We planted ours in the spring, right? The pepper bushes.
I don't want to plant something now and then have it die in the spring.
Right, then we take it out.
Right now is a pretty optimal time to plant a lot of things
Yeah,
with the cool
Yeah.
temperatures.
because again, it doesn't
but
look
then
like they're doing a lot of growth.
We have to maintain like the watering part of it, right?
As long as you walk.
They're not there, and we're not there.
Yeah,
As long as, you know what I mean, watering wise.
figure something out that's low maintenance. Yeah, that's the key. We don't want to create. Because we don't need more work, I can assure you.
We replaced the boards on that side. Because they were rotted
One,
on the side facing you guys. We placed a lot of woods, yeah, because they were rotted.
Do you mind if we keep those, because they're part of the public meeting, get the photos?
Sure, no
We
problem.
can give them back to you, we just need to scan them in.
Okay, that's, oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's fine, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I just take a picture of them before you?
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
all right,
If you
thank you.
build them, like create a online folder, like what we do.
Oh, yeah, I
If
mean,
if
if
you
you
want to
have
take
a
them back.
bucket of the pictures already, like in an online share folder, you could send it to Mika.
Do you have these digitally or?
I have digitally on my
You do?
phone, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
So, right now, we in agreement to plant something next to each stump.
Or something like that, what it will, we can.
No, I
figure it
mean, I'm
out.
not saying what, just something.
It's not that we
It's-
figure it out. Can we hash it out now? Because you said that
Well,
to
the
me
only thing-
multiple times. Just like, can we agree that we will plant something where the stumps are? Shrubs, it doesn't matter to us.
Stumps have roots, and my concern is you can't
Right.
necessarily plant something right where the stump is, that.
I think if you.
I said wherever, in the area, wherever.
If you guys wanna hash out the specifics now, I think our part for now, we're on the table, so you guys are more than welcome to use out there.
Yep.
If you don't mind, and then just keep us posted, otherwise we'll see you on the 15th at 5:15. I wish your mother very good luck.
So we're
Okay.
going,
One more thing. So you mentioned that some of these stumps have already grown up. It might be beneficial to leave those instead of trying to plant something else right there, because trying to get through all these roots and the stumps might be hard.
Right.
So
Well,
if they've already resprouted,
Yeah, and I know that they did say that they'd be willing to replant with some high things too. So if those are low where there were high, maybe somewhere there were some low ones, we can do high to try to make up for the vegetation, the loss of, vegetation there
so Monday, the 15th at,
by 15.
so I won't be able to make that because I work in the Boston area. Hopefully there's not like a treatment for my mom or any, I can't, she's doing surgery literally Thursday and then they're gonna plan out her chemo. So hopefully he can make it. My brother lives in Wilbraham, like more than an hour away.
Yeah.
And he works for the power company, so there's a storm, he's working 24 hours a day. So
I think as long as you guys, have that discussion offline, I don't think it's gonna be, nothing will, I think, in my opinion, at least as one member, change, when we're there. It's just to kind of get our eyes and agree to what you guys have agreed to, kind of thing. And we will document if you are not there, we will still take pictures, and follow up at our next meeting with, kind of like an approval type of thing with a letter that outlines, hopefully what you guys agreed to, and just for kind of confirming and agreeing, and that way everyone has the same thing to work off of.
in what meeting, what time would that be?
What did I say, the 16th
So right after?
at 6,
next
yeah.
day.
Yeah, next day, okay.
Yeah,
And if we need more time than that,
Yeah.
I don't think that's an issue.
No.
This to me is not a
Okay.
pressing concern. It's not like we're dealing with a significant potential erosion issue or something
Yeah.
like that, where we have to get it remedied quickly. This is not that. in my opinion.
Okay.
So if we need more time, I'm okay.
The guy's name on the point,
Okay.
you're looking out to the left.
Thank you, Mike. for-
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time.
Appreciate it.
Andy,
It doesn't,
I got a question.
what's that?
Handy's place. It's standing in my water, and the intrusion. His house is there, and the other side of him, there's like 100 to 150 feet of somebody cleared right to the
You
water.
know how to send a shared folder,
What is that?
like,
My son.
like on
My
Google.
son did.
you can
Yeah,
create a
my
I
son
Google.
know Blair did that like 10 years ago, we got spanked for doing it. Yeah, right.
We're gonna make them a shared folder.
And you only had like 50 feet of frontage. But this guy between Blair
Then that
and
link.
Andy's place
Okay.
is
That is
150
that.
feet of frontage. cleared.
I think it's on.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're on your deck, you look straight out to the left, you'll see the big.
Is this to the right of Blair's Beach, former beach? As I'm
Yeah, if
looking
you're
at,
looking at Blair's Beach from
right,
your deck, it's to
across
the
the
left.
left, it's to the left.
Yeah,
Is it
I'll take a
recent?
look.
you see that?
We'll take a look tomorrow. No,
It's like,
actually, we have not. We'll check it out.
Is that recent?
Yeah.
I've been down there like in 9 years. Because of things.
We can take a look and see if that's something that we,
Yeah, let me know.
But how the heck did he get away with that? And Blair's got a lot of power in this town.
Was
And
it
he got
Blair's lot.
caught bad. Right?
It was Blair,
You
it's
got,
Blair's,
you all
Yeah.
know who Blair is.
No.
the clearing you think was on Blair's lot?
No, he's saying.
No, it's still,
it's adjacent to the old beach.
There's a clearing over there?
Yeah, check it out. You and your mom should check it out, because you guys have photographic memories. I don't know what I did 10 minutes ago.
I even paddled a canoe over there to check it. I couldn't believe.
Yeah.
I was like, when did this happen?
Being pointed out on here, if this ever
Yeah.
comes back.
You got a picture of the pond there?
Yeah, well, you can,
I have the GIS up. Yeah.
either to him or me, I don't care.
So you guys are over here.
Yeah.
So what part of the farm do you think?
Just down here. Yeah, right,
For initial
Andy's place, right there,
Okay.
Because there's no,
right in here. It's all
there's no point in
cleared out.
throwing stuff down,
Okay.
Right
at least on
there.
the line, I'm saying.
All that.
There's-
Where is it?
How do you get away with that? Because 9 years ago, that was woods. You remember that at all 9 years ago? About the wooded area
Wooded area where?
by past me? place?
So maybe I'm just got the-
Yeah, no.
I don't know. It's going on.
Or has it taken?
That's smart.
Well, they can check it out when they're, when she was.
And John, by the way.
John,
Nice to meet you.
very sorry about your mom.
That's,
Did you guys just find out or?
Yeah.
What was the
Yeah,
situation?
a month ago, and then she was supposed to be in for surgery 2 weeks ago, but, you know, they're older than residents.
Shut
So
out.
she was on the
Yeah,
anesthesia.
that's Andy's place, the jet out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a,
Yeah.
The rhythm
Placebo?
wasn't correct because the anesthesia, so they pulled her out.
They were afraid to do it.
Yeah, because they were afraid she was gonna have a heart attack while
Right on.
so some.
stable, and then, you know, she's in the waiting room, you know, she still has.
9 years ago.
That,
Well, I hope things work out.
Show me.
again, it's
Not sure exactly.
very important to us. I wanted this all, you know.
It's.
Like,
We
on the
gotta
council?
find middle ground,
Gosh.
so we just go,
Okay.
we're not trying.
Along this edge.
Oh,
Yeah, we've been trying this land survey that actually lives like
Southwest of this.
4 or 5 houses down. If you walk out of your place and go.
Yeah, he came up and talked to
supposedly
us.
He doesn't, he has a ball carrying gun. She's leaving Massachusetts.
He said to us that he's not gonna do it. With him because he asked us.
Well, then we'll ask Jeff about somebody else.
He's saying along the edge of the.
He told
Yeah,
you he
these
was gonna do it.
places,
Know how-
the layout of these places from way back
there.
was beyond haphazard. Like our property, if you go down our driveway.
Yeah, it's a
Half of
driveway. You
that,
guys
half
have
of that
shared.
doesn't even.
No, they're.
That's ridiculous.
Those two brothers that made the house.
So I
know, it's-
So, but they were. two
But even
brothers,
then,
they did
yeah,
something.
and like you said, you look at the city records where the property lines sit at
Yeah.
your house. Why would you would never build
No,
that.
the guy I bought it from is an engineer, anal engineer, you know, how engineers are.
I do.
He built the deck,
He hasn't done any.
and he doesn't do anything unless he knows exactly what's going on.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
my wife came over and said, the property line is in the middle of my steps.
There is.
When we do the site visit, we
Yeah.
can.
Like,
This guy doesn't know. We'll get Jeff Harkle and give us a name.
All right.
He's got to know people. Yeah, we should probably.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank
you.
Okay. We're technically, next order of business, follow-up. Arrowhead Way, Pommogussett Road and Brintnal Drive erosion concerns. So we never heard back from the people across the street on Pommogussett that got those seeping waters, that was downhill. So we didn't get to go there after our look at 3 Brintnal. Yeah, so 135, 136, I think you're right.
Yes.
39.
The ones that like literally done.
They are.
Yes.
Yes,
That was those ones on.
yes.
Yeah.
I think it's 139 and 137. 139 is directly across from 140. And 140 is Mr. Rosario. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 139.
So, you know, based on our last discussion, oh, you weren't here last meeting, right? Okay, so we basically got from town council that yes, the lots have been sold and can't definitively prove that every drop of water, you know, is coming from the road itself, because it's definitely picking up water from the individual lots. And a lot of the sediment is coming from the individual lots, so we would have to issue the enforcement order against the individual lots, which are not there any longer. So it would be holding the homeowners responsible for something that's not their fault. So we were very disgruntled that, yes, we kind of came full circle with what we were hoping we could find a way around. And so what we were trying to do was see the sediment that had washed in the last big storm to see if it was, 1, any worse, 2, if it had gotten any better. And if we should try to kind of pursue a cleanup of it, you know, because part of it would also be the same, you know, probably the same issue in terms of ownership, where they're gonna say the sediment came from the lots, you know, even though the stemming activity is up a hill. And then, you know, in talking with Becky from DEP, it's always kind of like, will it do more damage in terms of going in there, even with hand shovels, you know, tromping around, scooping stuff? You know, especially if it would need larger equipment, which I don't think it would have, but, you know, is it easier, not easier, is it more applicable in this case to let, you know, actually let itself flush it out because, you know, it hasn't been inundated as much as others. But then, you know, how do we still get that enforcement to go to a responsible party without negatively affecting the homeowners? So, I kind of like when I talked to Becky, it just kind of reiterated what we did, which is where we kind of left off in the next meeting. I would say we should try again to reach out to the homeowners on the opposite side of Pommogussett, and see, if we can access their property again, which I think they've been fine with, but I just don't wanna like show up.
Right, agreed.
Like, hello, how are you? We're in your backyard.
Dog. Yeah.
Okay, that as well.
Yeah, we should have their permission
Yeah.
and they should know when we're coming.
Right, you know, especially if we are making enforcement actions,
That is their.
like, I think technically would feel like it would somehow encumber them in some way as well, too. Not only would work have to happen on their property, but like, if we have an order that has to get recorded, like, there's just so many.
This is not simple.
It's not simple and it's really driving me nuts. The other thing I did want to bring up is I noticed I was watching the last planning board meeting and looked at the packet and they got quotes that were talking about geotechnical reviews. And ironically, Blair did made some points that I agreed with, because geotechnical is looking at like the soils in terms of like compaction, not necessarily erosion. So like these companies were gonna do borings, but like in the road, and that's not quite answering our question.
Yeah.
I mean, unless we had like a compaction issue, like when the road was put down, we didn't do the geotechnical boring,
Right.
if that. So I wanted to see if the commission was comfortable with me sending the town planner a quick email and being like, I just want to clarify what the commission's concerns were regarding stormwater, and erosion. It's not necessarily the geotechnical aspects of it. It's just compliance with stabilization and grading and like best practices. You know, we did, which Blair was talking about at the last planning board meeting. He sent those documents about the stormwater reports. I'll admit I haven't looked too deeply into what they say, but you know, it's basically they think that the stormwater report wasn't created because it goes to the multi-pond excavator. But I think a stormwater report still would have been made to show the pre and post flow, which then would have been certified that the dissipator can accept that flow and volume. So
That has to be a commission.
that's what I'm just
That
so.
was the comment, is that everything two, just going into one and one is already approved.
Right,
Right.
so there's like just this one sheeter. That's like, oh, we've calculated the pre and post development peak flows for Bear Hill 1 and Bear Hill 2 developments for the 2, 10, 50 and 100 year. That's going to dissipators and detention ponds for pre and post, but like. That's all that it is, like, it's not the hydrocat calcs, it's not.
Right. The actual stormwater.
So, It was very nice.
I was reading that email, when he says all the drainage from Arrowhead goes to the Molten Pond dissipator. Does he literally mean the roadway, Arrowhead? So what about the properties? Each individual house lot? Because some of those are not going. to
Because
the
you
Molten
do
Pond.
drainage to the, for the.
The
like,
entire
right?
subdivision, the drainage.
And was that still
analysis
the
should
case
include
in
Yeah.
2006?
Yes.
Yeah, right? Okay.
Absolutely. Because you still have to mitigate peak rates going back to 96. When the
Right.
handbook came out and the standards came out, they weren't part of the regs yet. That didn't happen until 08, but you still had to mitigate rates under standard 2 to all design points for your development,
Which is property line.
which is with property line. Some cases you have to go beyond the property line. Because if you have, say, runoff coming off-site into your project,
Mhm.
you have to manage that too. And then wherever it goes off-site, generally you want to see where it goes off-site at the property line. But sometimes you might go beyond that and say, well, this part of my site goes to like this wetland that's, 1,000 feet away. That's my design.
So in one of these letters, which this is from Quinn, the August 7th, 2007, comment number 11 is talking about the DEP stormwater management policy. And the proposed subdivision consists of more than 9 lots and therefore is subject to the NADEP stormwater management policy. Because the Bear Hill 2 drainage system discharges to the Molten Pond dissipator, the office is not able to comment on the status of the design in relation to the Massachusetts stormwater management policy. The board may ask the applicant to submit a summary of the system and how it complies.
Wait, say that again, the board meeting, what?
The board may request the applicant to submit a summary of how the system complies, and I think that's what, then that one cheater. No, that was before, no, that was before. Before, because that one cheater was May, this one is August.
Okay, we've asked them 5 times for the stormwater.
Right, and that's what he's saying, it doesn't exist because it goes to the dissipator.
Okay, so then where's the report that we can request that shows that it's gonna actually be able to handle?
That's what they're saying,
I don't know.
this is.
That's baloney.
Right, let's see what, so what was the last one? Says. It says comment stands. And that the planning board determined that no operational investment will be required. And then comment 13 is resolved, which is about the stormwater passing through the system. It's recommended that the letter stamped by Massachusetts registered professional engineer, which comprehensively certified combined peak rates of stormwater from Bear Hill 1 and 2 are attenuated to below pre-development levels. And water dated the Aldrich Office 1, certifying that the system has sufficient capacity to receive the additional flow and not exceed pre-development flows. And letter from James Kelly certifying that the peak rates of runoff from both Bear Hill 1 and Bear Hill 2 will be attenuated to pre-development levels. So they just got letters certifying to get the backup?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Where's the backup?
For me, it's like. No, it doesn't exist now. That never existed.
Right.
They didn't ask for it.
So then,
That's what this is saying. They didn't ask for it.
so those,
They just-
they could have just made those numbers up and said they're certified.
I mean,
They could have,
they could have, but.
if they did, they were violating their,
Yeah.
their
Yeah,
professional engineering license, but sure, they could have.
I understand.
But I also have a
I'm
concern
not
with
accusing them of
wordage,
doing it.
Yeah.
because, okay, the system has sufficient capacity, which is most likely very true, but is all, that's not everything is going there.
Right. And
It does say the letter from James Calick,
Yeah,
that peak rates of runoff from Bear Hill 1 and Bear Hill 2 will be attenuated to pre-development levels.
so that's the lots too.
So yes,
Okay.
that, I'm assuming,
Assuming.
but I shouldn't assume, I don't think we should assume. Because I don't know, when they say Bear Hill 1, Bear Hill 2, are they just talking about the roadways? Are they including all the lots as well? I don't know. Because not everything goes from Arrowhead Way.
Correct.
We know some of these lots drain west because we saw the video. We saw that runoff coming down the hill.
Right.
Clearly, some of the runoff does head west and comes down to Pommogussett.
Right, if you,
But then there else show that, we don't know.
I don't know,
We
because
don't
it's
have
got a
it.
cover letter saying, yep, I say it does. Okay.
There were some questions on.
Oh, on the chat?
Yeah.
Hold please,
I
that's
just saw a call,
screen.
Mr. Rosario. You want me to do that? So you can use your computer?
Does the Concom? Oh, it's gonna die anyway, so. Does the Concom have any idea how the road was approved without a hydrological study? The study we've been told for months by the planning board existed, but Mr. Blair confirmed doesn't exist. Does the Concom allow builders to cut roads, cut trees, change the natural flow of water without a hydraulic study? So I'll say that based on these comment letters, is that the engineer of the applicant submitted a stamped certified letter that the report that they did but did not provide showed that it met the standards. And we, as not having jurisdiction over this subdivision, had no input. But if we were to receive an application that had to meet the stormwater standards, we require a stormwater report with the calculations and the stamped stormwater checklists and how they meet all the standards and the backup for it.
and the 300 pages that
And the
Mr.
300
Flynn told us that it was, you know, and all the information that's contained within.
I mean,
This is mind-boggling.
I'm so confused. Like I'm sure it exists,
Some,
just might have never been provided to the town.
it did exist at some point,
Yeah.
I'm sure, on somebody's computer, maybe a hard copy somewhere. Unfortunately, these are from 2007. And
Yeah.
a lot of things were not done electronically back then.
So not providing a written report technically means it never happened, therefore there's no way to know how before and after compare. I mean, you have like this. So you have the cover letter that shows these, the 2, 10, 50, and 100-year volumes.
Yeah, still not sure.
I know,
Okay, right, that's only going to the.
but that's only going to the dissipator.
That's, yeah, that's not counting everything that.
Flows in other directions.
Right, cause if
Which
you,
it does.
if you said, didn't you say that something about to the
Design points, yeah.
design point?
Yeah, when-
I mean,
That's what makes it 300 pages.
you're sitting on a you're sitting on a mountain.
You are. You got
Like-
water going all over.
That-
the
How
place.
is that not a design point to know that water is gonna run downhill?
A subdivision of this size, you'd have several design points.
Right.
And you would check pre and post peak rates at each of those design points.
Yes.
In my opinion, something in the vicinity of Pommogussett Road should have been a design point in their analysis. I would hope that it was, but we don't know, because all we have is
A piece of paper.
a piece of paper, and all they show is flow to Molten Pond for peak rates. So sure, if they didn't send more to Molten Pond in the post-development, compared to pre-development, their rates are less. That's just one design point,
Right. Where's the rest of the water?
right? There,
Besides Mr. Rosario's.
there's no way every drop of runoff from this subdivision is just going to Molten Pond.
They saw it. Those people are losing their backyard.
Yeah.
Was there a checklist in 1996?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. My guess, 96, I would say probably not. I think that didn't come into play until 08.
Cause there's still like, there's still TSS and.
Yeah, you have. Standard 2 is peak rates, standard 3 is recharge requirements, standard 4 is TSS water quality. Those existed in 96, as far as I know.
Yeah.
There wasn't as much guidance on the calculations back then. That came up in 08,
Yeah,
but they existed. Yes.
And those would be submitted to,
for this planning board.
For this, it would have been planning board. Conservation Commission was not part of
This phase.
this phase because I should say not we, but the board back then in 07 didn't have jurisdiction.
None of this stuff has to get registered with the file with the state in any way.
Not like the stormwater.
No,
That's-
no, if,
A 60-page mortgage.
no.
It's something that.
Well, it has to get recorded in the registry.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You would think that something as important as water
Yeah.
would have to be registered with the state somehow.
that's more just ownership.
I think part of the issue we're seeing here is that things are done differently these days. And we can see they were done
Well,
very differently back
back
then.
and has jurisdiction over lots back then, which they say
They
they
should.
should have now.
They should have.
I don't think the subdivision regs have changed from since 2007.
No. I mean, just based on
That's the
the
sticking point.
subdivision control laws at the state level.
Right.
Those have been in place for, I don't know how long.
Mentioned stormwater design, stormwater design
Mhm.
is. Oh my god. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so I'll have Tamika reach out to those homeowners again.
If the commission had had jurisdiction, that submission would have come to the commission, it would have went to DEP as well.
Right.
Yes, but there were no jurisdictional resource areas or buffer zones,
Cause it's top of
because
the
it's on the top of the
It's
hill.
on top of the hill.
It was far enough away from the wetlands west of Pommogussett. It's several hundred feet away.
Right, but nobody used that as a design point to think of, that water is going to run down the hill.
Yeah.
Bring said sediment down the hill and into the wetlands that are 100 feet away.
Right.
And I think when even mentioned, like, if he knew that he could be developing those lots as well, that should take that into consideration as well.
Right.
Yeah, as soon as the engineer has to be some test, have some responsibility in this.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just start my brain.
Dirty hands.
Not just from cleaning up the sediment and it's from.
No.
I did too.
And I don't remember if I updated because. So sorry, it was the last meeting. The interim town manager had, we asked if we could use legal counsel. It's like, oh, anything I can do to help, to help relieve costs to labor council. And I was like, oh, while I have your attention, here's this issue that's been going on. I think it would be great if you would like to help us discuss with planning and homeowners and try and help them with some resolution. I didn't get anything back, but I tried.
You asked.
I asked, I put it out there because I think it's baffled us all.
Yeah.
And I think I've been following the stormwater bylaw changes pretty closely, for MS4 permit. Every time DPW asks me like, oh, how many as-bills did you review? I'm like, none, because we don't have a bylaw. I mean, a few ours, but. So Aimee commented on seeking clarification regarding the approval process for the road in question. Specifically, does the commission have any knowledge of how this road was approved without a archaeological study? For months, the planning board has indicated that such a study existed, yet Mr. Blair has since confirmed that no study was ever conducted. Does the commission permit builders to cut roads remove trees and alter the natural flow of water without the benefit of hydrologic study. Mr. Rosario pointed out during the meeting, not providing a written report technically means this has never happened. Without it, there's no reliable way to understand or compare the before and after conditions of the site. I appreciate your clarification on this matter, as the absence of such critical study raises serious concerns about the integrity of the approval process and the protection of natural resources. So again, I think this comes back to the applicant at the time submitted documentation from the engineer saying that a report was done, but the findings show that it met the that met the requirements of the bylaws and stormwater standards, but probably from what I'm reading, didn't actually submit the report itself, just kind of reported a summary, and that, you know, the dissipator can accept these increased flows. So it sounds like the planning board at the time just took the stamped letter as evidence that it met the requirements.
Right.
Versus like the background information, which we now look at. You know, because we didn't have jurisdiction, we kind of didn't have any say over the roads and trees, etc. for this part of the project. So they kind of did they reported very specific aspects, mainly just to what was going to the dissipator, you know, but we don't have the background, like the technical calculations that showed it, just kind of the engineer's certification from what Mr. Blair submitted. But I think that's where it stands, but I think to Jared's point at the last meeting, it's still calculations that could be run. Which I think is what I want to report back to the planning board about. You don't want the geotechnical review, you just need like a civil engineer to take a look at this.
Yes,
Right, it's just math. You don't need machines.
correct.
Yeah, you need a
Yeah.
computer, like, you know, take a look at the site. Look what, like,
They could, somebody, a civil engineer could they could go back, look at record information for the pre-development condition. They could easily get that information. And then they can essentially, I mean, there are as-built at this point,
yeah.
right? So they
Yeah,
could take the as-built and probably some current aerial information as well. I think they could piece together a hydrologic study
Yeah.
most to see, okay, we don't have a stormwater report. Could one be generally pieced together? I think so. It could be done.
And Aimee asked, so we take their word for it. With no proof, planning board sends this to you and you send this to them. Can we get requests, all boards meet together to get clarification? So that's kind of what I was just talking about. I reached out to the town, interim town manager, see if we could have a joint meeting. And the proof, I guess, is these ironically provided by Clee, the Quinn engineering letters stating, and the engineer letters during the planning, I'm assuming the planning board hearing for the subdivision. Yeah,
Unfortunately, they accepted the letters
yeah,
and did not say we need to see the report.
the report.
Yeah.
Which I would hope would not move case today, if they were
I-
here for
Right.
it.
Yeah, I hope not.
Right on.
Yeah, if it came to us, it would not be, and I would
Absolutely
say
not.
that pretty strongly.
Yes, agreed. That would not be enough.
Close.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if the planning board wants to do more, they
I-
can, but we don't think that help, that's not gonna.
I don't think they
It's not
understand the
up now.
purpose of the borings, cause I think they thought that it was to address erosion issues. But
Is that
that's,
the only reason they're doing
yeah,
all this is
Yeah.
because of the erosion issue?
that my understanding
No,
is,
they
yes.
don't have any qualms with the approval of the road.
No, it didn't
They
seem to
accepted
be
the-
for like the actual road
So then.
construction, it was the stormwater.
As far as they're concerned, I
Okay.
agree with you.
Agreed.
Alright, so civil engineer, yeah. like, the last thing you wanna do is put a hole in that road,
No,
No, there's no reason for it.
especially for something.
There's no reason for it.
Okay.
When I, as you were mentioning earlier, Melissa, reading through the proposals they got, one of them was very simple. It was, I think it was more of like, we go out and take a look at it and then
Yeah.
figure out what else needs to be done.
Which is, I think, the one they chose.
That is.
Okay, which is the one they chose, which honestly, I think it was for $1,000.
that kind of makes sense.
That was just to come out,
Yeah,
take a view.
Take a look.
Tell them what it's gonna cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Fine, that's fine. The other one had more information, and when I started reading it, I saw the same thing.
Yeah,
Is there 11 grand?
They're including like a drilling rig and
Yeah.
borings.
Yeah.
What are we going this for? You need a civil engineer that has expertise in stormwater design, knows the regulations, and could recreate a hydrologic model. In
Mhm.
my opinion, that's what you want.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
And obviously having some expertise in erosion, sediment and things of that nature, but I mean, if they know stormwater, they're gonna have most likely experience in that too.
yeah.
I think that was worded perfectly.
That's what you do.
That's fine, it's a simple engineer. That's fine, that's not where you got narrow.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt.
Never know.
You think no?
Melissa, all right, so, Dan commented respectfully, a cover letter does not provide sufficient detail. We're agreeing with you. Which of Quinn's assessment do we rely on? His oral report to the Concom was that it wasn't the road or written report that said during significant storms, gutter flow and roadways can become enormous, driveways constructed so as to admit flow from a gutter can receive enormous stormwater flows. Based on this preliminary review, it's considered likely that flow of stormwater into the driveways at homes on Arrowhead Way contributes substantially to the observed inflow of stormwater at 140 Pommogussett Road and other neighboring properties. It means likely that properties on Pommogussett Road may continue to resurface water from other sources as well. And so the last part, I mean,
He flip-flop. He said the exact opposite of the one, not the last meeting with me.
mhm. I think part of it is timeline too. I think one of his letters came before. Not to say that this solves everything, but before the aprons in general were even put in. For driveways, but
Right, but though, that was before, if that was the case, that was before Mr. Rosario even sent anything in,
I don't
or at least got,
yeah,
at least was in contact with us.
yeah. I reminded that I've been dealing with water coming over the hill into my property with Larry, been putting the road 2 years, and he's definitely provided that evidence.
Yeah.
I think we're just. I just don't understand how the planning board doesn't have jurisdiction, I'll just say
They don't know.
that.
They do.
But I have requested a joint meeting. I'll request another one directly to the planning board. Always,
So in that last meeting that I was at,
yep,
and said there's a town bylaw that says the planning board doesn't have to look at plans. If our wetlands bylaw has to go in front of the attorney general, how did the town get a bylaw passed that says the planning board doesn't have to look at plans?
doesn't have to look at plans, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Or was he saying they don't get to look at lots?
they don't get to look at lots, whatever it is,
Lots.
and all the lot plans.
I think from a grading perspective, the planning board has jurisdiction over that, I understand, like,
That's where the gray area is.
yeah,
Depends how you read it.
I mean, I'm happy to reach out again,
I like your ideas, I mean, we
Let's
talked
try
at
it.
one meeting,
Right.
yeah.
the way Jared worded that, we send something, let the planning board know. There's no sense spending money on things that aren't gonna,
No.
Right.
we, or to at least to help prioritize what the engineer's gonna do.
Yeah.
So we spend the money wisely.
Mhm.
that's the next step.
All right, I will do that tomorrow. I'll make sure that gets out ASAP. So I'll both send the letter or just kind of an update to probably just Delia, the town planner, stating, this is kind of what we discussed regarding the review that you guys are thinking of doing. And then I'll send it to maybe the chair of planning and Delia and copy Tamika of like, hey, we'd love to have a joint meeting to discuss this. It can be a special meeting. We can just be on Zoom. We can, if that makes it easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come to the meetings. All right,
When do they meet?
other Tuesdays, I think.
Oh,
Yeah. Thanks, yeah.
Yeah.
Opposite Tuesdays of us.
Second, fourth, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know what's today.
I don't know.
so next
Alright.
Tuesday.
Okay, so let's move forward with that. I will definitely get on that tomorrow so that I have enough notice.
Still boggles my mind too that a subdivision approved in 2007
Built now.
can be built now.
Mm.
No sense. That's something else that in my opinion needs to change.
I agree.
A decision from, even from us, our orders of conditions, they're good for 3 years. If you need more time, that's fine. We'll give you an extension.
Yeah.
But if you don't build it and then that order expires, you gotta come back for another notice of intent.
Yeah.
That's
'Cause
how,
we don't need a reason to deny an extension
right,
or an amendment.
right,
Love that.
yeah. But that's how it should be. You shouldn't just
But
indefinitely.
yeah, things have changed. Yeah.
Yeah, and regulations change.
Mhm.
And a subdivision like this should come back to the planning board. They should have to provide a stormwater report that meets current regulations. So, I know that's not in our jurisdiction. I'm talking planning board,
Mhm.
planning board bylaw, but boy, it should be updated to have a expiration on their decisions. Can't just wait 15 years to
Right.
build a subdivision. Crazy.
And Amanda just did send me an email saying that, she had requested a joint meeting. This was back in July. I think this is the one that we never got an answer back from the planning board, because I think we had agreed, but Tamika hadn't had a response from the planning board. So, thank you for sending that again, Amanda. And we'll follow up on that one. All right. Yes, okay, so moving on to follow up with the enforcement order. We've kind of talked about this briefly before, and everything come in. I think for the sake, I hate to say it tonight, just making maybe a comment back to, please stating, we acknowledge that you passed the deadline. This is just kind of a written statement of that, and that we do still have jurisdiction. Please update us, or further enforcement action will commence. And DEP's asking for the same thing, like, kind of like kick the can so far down.
Right.
It's just giant nuts. Okay. Are we okay with that?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, DCR events, proposal to co-host event Forest Health. Tamika had sent us an email from DCR stating, if we wanted to co-host a event. Forest Health, very informative, I know. What did they say? Was it Jacob? Yeah, Jacob, our service forester, wondering if we'd be able to co-host a educational event with DCR Forest Health and DCR Service Forestry on the subject of forest health. The event would consist of a short introduction on forests in Massachusetts and then a presentation from Dr. Mark Falconberry, a DCR Forest Health Specialist. Due to schedule, we are looking for a Monday or Wednesday night in September, October, likely 5:30 to 7, though the hours are somewhat flexible. From you, we would need a suitable location to host the event, including chairs and a place to set out our informational materials and some assistance in advertising the event. We can bring our own presentation equipment if necessary, create and post a flyer to advertise, directly notify our mailing list, take RSVPs, and provide some refreshments. I think that sounds wonderful.
Sounds good.
Anyone else?
Anyone else? Sounds like a great.
Sounds like that's easy enough for us. Like, yeah, sure, we'll give you a room. You do the hard work. Okay. All right, I'll have Tamika try and work on that.
I was gonna say, have Tamika book a room and go.
You do it all, right?
She is the holder of everything. Okay. Wetland regulations, begin drafting wetland regulations. I printed some stuff out for you guys and then didn't bring it, but I think that's okay at this point. I did drop in our SharePoint under the bylaw and regs folder, like a very basic outline. And I started copying and pasted things that like were just coming straight from the bylaw. So I at least started wanting to get like section headers in there. To start thinking about how we wanted to lay out, which is way more difficult than I thought, because everyone's bylaw is different and I hate them all. Our regulations are different and I hate them all. So if you want to make comments on the drafts that I have, I'm going to continue to work on it this week, but make sure you download that Word doc and make your own comments on your actual computer and not in the SharePoint, just for OML, open meeting law
Gotcha.
things, you know? And then there's two other things, because Tamika wants us to also do a site visit for 11 Barrack Hill Road. Do you want to just do this when we do
Finn Park.
Finn Park?
Yeah.
11 Barrack Hill Road. What it is, I didn't even look at it.
Bill?
Barrack Hill. Barrack.
Yeah, I know I've driven by that.
I wanna say it's. Yeah, new house. I'll have to look at the plans up on SharePoint before we go, so you can see them realistically. And then the only other thing is I got, a building permit request that I wanted you guys to look at. If my computer doesn't die. Hold, please. I think it's 355 East County. It's ones that have had a filing previously, and they want to put a shed. Share it, I promise. % left on my computer.
I've left them that in the brain right now.
Shed on top of it.
Or it's a garage, sorry. What? No. Yes? I think so. I thought it was a new pad. Is it existing? I would be pouring a concrete pad for a metal garage.
Different house.
Doing most.
335 East County.
At 355?
335. And I'll show you why I don't have issues. Myself.
Stream up back.
Yeah, so. Of course, all the plans they have, like, doesn't actually have the current status of what the house looks like, which is fun as well. Sorry to all those watching in my screen jumping 30.
Where you and I did a site walk, where they were. Julian always said, oh, the light poles are already here or something.
I'm trying to remember. I think when there's.
So I can only find old stuff. So here's the existing house I don't
This?
know if that's a garage. So the new garage is like going over here. So this area looked a little suspicious to me. Especially looking at this little thing. Of course, there's no other filings anywhere else. I mean, like you can see it a little bit. But that's not a stream, maybe that's just weird trees.
This map shows a bunch of wetlands around here.
Yeah. See, this just kind of looks like a vague connection to me, like this was a wet area. Sorry for the zoom in and out. Cause it definitely goes south.
It shows
It's like a bus
some sort of hydraulic connection.
there.
Yeah.
So if he's putting a garage right here. Based on this. Right here. I think he would need to file something with us, but I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Because of this. And it looked like it was only like. 60. So this is 100 feet away, which I think is pretty.
Yeah, I think some of the work at least is likely in our jurisdiction. I guess.
So maybe suggest an RDA.
Probably.
Okay. Especially if he doesn't have to clear anything.
Yeah.
Cause I keep, like, they all look different, I don't know. Do those not look different?
Yes.
Yeah.
What are we looking at?
That's your
No.
So, the same like shed, which may look like. Which maybe this, I don't know. Alright, I'm just gonna have him do an RDA.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's hard to tell.
but like, the angle is completely different, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Yes. It's hard to line those two up.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, just. Verify. That is not just me. Okay. That's all. I don't. Stop sharing. Alright. Okay, very good. Thank you. That one was just a little questionable for me. I didn't want to make it hard. Meh, and then they come to Tamika and then Tamika's like, no. Melissa said. So if y'all said,
Commissions.
the commission said. Okay,
Always have you been.
appreciate you. Okay, I don't think I have anything else for tonight. We set up the site visit that Tamika wanted. Is there anything else that the commission would like to talk about?
Just a reminder to get our bios in.
Oh, yes, thank
I
you.
haven't done that.
Please send me your member bios. The longer the better, really. Not joking.
So multiple pages is good.
That's fine. Each person is gonna have a little community spotlight on our Facebook page. I also, it's been a couple meetings since we talked about it. I remember how we said we were gonna make pages on the town's website for the invasive species and stuff like that. I have been working on those. They're drafts, so they're hidden from the public. So I haven't forgotten about those. I've also been reaching out to different, like, places you can hike and in town. So we can have a common place to put all the maps as well.
We have something in the open space plan about that, don't we?
Yes, so I was trying to, kill a couple birds with a few stones, but.
Yeah.
So I have been doing random things to accomplish said tasks, just so we put it out there.
Keep moving.
Yeah,
We also received an inquiry on the Facebook page from a resident interested in trail cleanup on Hope Ridge.
bridge.
Um, I know Tamika invited her,
Okay, I keep.
Jen
forgetting.
Plank, I believe her name is. And she invited her tonight,
Okay,
to talk about that further. So maybe we can reach out and re-invite her for next meeting.
yeah, okay,
But that would be a great project for us to get out there and maybe incorporate the scouts.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
on the scouts. involved in that.
absolutely. Okay, and I think I updated the last meeting that you went there, open space and rec plan is out of state, waiting for preliminary approval. One thing we'll probably have to change when we get it back is they are now allowing 10-year plans, so we're just gonna extend it by 3 years, lovely, but got rid of the ADA stuff, so.
So 10-year plan, but
But
No way.
but no EDA assessments, so it was a little backwards to me.
Sorry, I'm going to DC this week.
Okay.
I'll be fighting with that too.
I think it was too difficult to put together, which I'm sure you hear all the
I
time.
do.
And
Actually,
it drives me
it-
bonkers.
that's part of what you're
It's too
advocating for. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too much of a burden. It's too much of a
Yeah,
burden to put a door opener in.
yeah, yeah. And I think,
Being in a wheelchair, yes.
Yeah. Talking about the burden.
Right.
I really hate the comments about people hating the big sidewalks. And I was like the wide ones,
Yeah.
like the shared use paths, I'm like, have you ever tried to navigate a sidewalk with a pole in the middle of it?
Right?
Like, imagine that.
Not easy.
Great job, Tim, great job.
It wasn't him. Wasn't him.
The Holden sidewalks that now emergency vehicles can't get down the middle of the street.
Oh, I was being serious. I
Yeah.
was saying, great job. Okay.
No problems on my job. Can speak for the others.
The other ones, who knows?
Okay, and did everyone see Tamika's email about how the AG has gotten 45-day extension to approve our bylaws? It's not about our bylaws, all of the bylaws are approved at town meeting.
Just backing up, it sounds like.
Rude.
Yeah.
But it's okay, it benefits us because I've been managed, so take a look at that reg draft.
And also Anita sent out the
The acknowledgement,
open
yeah,
acknowledgement. I assume she has Tim's new email address.
I think so,
Okay.
because Tamika.
Yep. Did you get that today?
No,
No.
Anita.
No,
sent-
Anita, then responded.
got the one to Tamika.
Okay.
But ethics, so, yeah, Anita responded to that email, so.
Yes.
Check your spam.
Check spam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have an issue. It's weird.
Yeah, sorry, you're not off the commission, she, you know, you just. It was fake blocking you in those very specific aspects.
Wow, there's a lot of people on this.
Yeah, well, it's every board
Yeah.
member.
There's no idea how many, like, until you see this.
Okay, all right, it's 7:47.
Somebody gets a file done, could I see a copy of it? So that maybe.
I was gonna copy yours.
Just an outline from.
I want, you know, your life's work.
Yep.
Your life story. What sign you are.
I'm doing interviews all,
Mermaid
like, all last week at work, I was doing interviews, and these are all the questions I was asking.
Wonderful.
Is it T Keens 9496?
Yes,
That's the new one?
yes.
All right, so you did get it.
Alright,
You're good.
anything else?
The one. from-
Motion to
From
adjourn?
Anita. Yeah.
Second,
At 7:48 and roll call.
Harrington, I.
Keenan, I.
Gentlemen.
Jordan?
Dan's I, we are adjourned.